What's up, everybody? It's Fire here, and I'm back to give you guys another top speed tune. This will be on the Corvette C7. I'm gonna make this video kind of quick, not as long as the last video. But before I go straight into the track for Route X to show you the tune and all that, I did forget about showing you guys what parts to grab for the cars. It's gonna be different for all cars, of course, but I'm just gonna let you guys know what to go for. So you guys aren't really wasting a slight bit of credits. Now the fact that we don't get as much may not be a lot, but it does. It'll eventually build up when you have a lot of cars, pretty much like how I'm gonna have, or like how almost everyone's gonna have probably. Um, for majority of your cars, the items that you're going to want to buy in the tuning shop here are not going to be available because reasons I'm not sure, but it makes sense for some cars, doesn't make sense for some other cars, but for every single car, always grab the weight reductions. Go from stage 1 and go all the way up to the racing one, and uh and that's gonna be nothing else in sports, because the sports computer and the air filter, muffler, and everything else, you're gonna get better upgrades, and of course. But this is gonna be for anybody that either has never done upgrades before in Gran Turismo, or for anybody that needs to take a refresher, pretty much. One thing they did give us though are the um engine upgrades, I guess you could say. Or like bore up, high lift, camshaft, and high compression pistons. I have it on my Corvette here. These three items will not be available for every single car, but for majority of the cars, bore up is an option. The camshafts and the pistons, not likely on all cars. Most of the cars are going to have bore up, if not almost all of them, but not everything's going to have the camshaft or pistons. And then of course, as I said before, when you're going through the tabs, grab all the weight reductions. Um, if you guys are wanting to, you can buy the power restrictor and the ballast. They're cheap, just to help out with racing against, you know, uh, I guess battle or the balance of performance and anything like that, or even just trying to do races on campaign, um, or just doing regular races for all the tracks out there. And then going to semi racing crankshaft. That's going to be, I believe, one of the few on this tab that will only be available for majority cars. Not a whole lot, I know, but majority cars should have this. All cars should have this available, unless it's I guess newer car. I'm not really sure, but I know majority of the cars can get the fully customizable computer. And weight reduction, body rigidity. I'm still looking at. I'm not sure exactly how well it works out with the cars. I may try it out later on for this Corvette, but I don't think it really affects the top speed a whole lot. If it does, if it doesn't, then it's not worth the buying it. But if it does, a quick 25 grand for like maybe a couple mile per hour, like one or two, it could balance itself out. Depends on what rewards you're going for. And then of course, on here, this is the only place you can get the turbochargers. So of course, go with the ones you want to. But the high RPM turbocharger is like the best one in my mind, because I've tried out the mid RPM on one of my other cars, and it doesn't give out that much horsepower and speed, of course. So high RPM turbocharger for anything that has it available. But with this, supercharger. But don't go for low end torque, go for the high end torque, which is on the racing one. Now the racing tab is going to have a majority of the stuff that you're going to want on your car. Stroke up is another upgrade for the engine that is or is not available for, I'd say, most cars. I don't remember a whole lot of cars that can have it, but not all cars can have this upgrade. But the rest of the upgrades that I have on here, majority cars are going to have them. If they don't, I'm not sure why. But you have the engine balance tuning, polished parts, the racing air filter, muffler, and intercooler, and manifold. And then of course the high end torque supercharger for this at least. Um, the anti-lag system is, in my mind, a pretty decent upgrade to go for. I can't remember exactly how much it is because it's not available for the Corvette, of course. But for anything that has turbochargers, it's pretty good. It helps out with um, when shifting through gears, you're not having that lag, of course. Um, the one thing I do know is that the racing clutch and flywheel. Granted, I know I don't have it on here, but I'll be slapping it on eventually. Um, it does help through uh, gear changing, so it could give you that extra boost that you need to out accelerate everyone. It doesn't give in my mind, it could give out a massive boost or a minor boost. Again, it's debatable on the car and all that stuff. Other than that, you have the uh, suspension and transmission customization parts, and then of course racing soft is what probably everyone's going to be going for. Um, and I had to purchase racing hard for an earlier event. Um, Also, before I go out of this, and I'm just going to quickly go over the extreme. The nitrous is probably the only one you're gonna probably grab. Um, I would not grab the new engine or new body because it takes off all of the parts that you bought for the engine and the body, so the weight reduction's gone and all that. So I would not advise to go for it. Um, and the only other thing that you'd be buying on the extreme, other than not the NOS, is gonna be the four-wheel steering controller, and that's gonna be for another car that will be on a top speed tune I'll be putting out in a couple of videos. I'm trying to go through this by the top speed. Right now, the top speeds are still in the works. I'm still trying to get them to go the max speed they can go. Right now, the Corvette is the fastest car I have right now for road cars, of course, other than the Bugatti Veyron. If I ever get that, I have a buddy that has gotten that to 280-ish. I can't remember exactly the speed he said, but in that range. So sadly, that's the fastest car. But whoops. Um, but yeah, the other tires that I would recommend buying is Sports Soft, so you can get the most grip out of it, so that you're not sliding that much more. But the reason why I say sports tires is because, so, if I'm correct, I remember talking about this in the Nismo Top Speed Tune video, that some cars are gonna need sports tires because racing tires, with how much grip that they give you and how the game reacts when you're slightly turning in the turn, just one accidental flick of the analog, or if you're on wheel, just quick maneuver will send you into a spiral. Sports soft tires will help you out tremendously, and it doesn't really give away a whole lot of uh, grip. You still have a decent enough grip to do maneuvers. It's just they're not as uh, quick. which is good in my mind because, well, if you're able to turn real quickly, most likely the car's not going to be able to handle that, and you're going to go spinning no matter where you are on the track. After that, I'm going to go, so after all this, I'm going to go over to Rodex to show you guys what the top speed is, and I'll give you guys the tune on suspension and all that. So I'm hoping this wind is with me on this one, and I'm sorry if I have to do this mid-video, but I will try to get the speed, the wind to go with me on this one if I can. But I will give you guys the setup real quick before I start messing with the wind, because you can't control the wind at all. As you guys see here, it's a 274 tune. It was originally 272 until about half hour ago, after working on a couple other cars that are going to be in later top speed tune videos. A quick change on the suspension gave it 2 miles per hour. As I said in the Nismo tune though video, most of the cars that I have suspension tunes for are going to be running mostly the same. Some of them are going to be slightly different, and the only difference to my knowledge so far is strictly in the natural frequency or spring rate. So you guys can, if you guys want to, you can pause the video real quick to jot this down, or however you guys want to do it. But originally I did have this the front all the way to the left, but after trying the wire hooks, I have that, and that'll be in a later video. It actually increased the speed on it, which was kind of a shocker, because of how the suspension setup is on all the cars right now. All the cars are completely slammed to the ground so far. So I was kind of shocked on that, but hey, whatever gives it more speed, I'll take it. After that, I'm going over to the transmission real quick. Now, from what I remember, and I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record, and this is probably gonna be me doing this on all the transmissions for all the cars I'm going to be posting. I believe I have this on stock, like stats for the numbers for the gears. The only thing I ever touch most of the time is the final. For most of the cars, the top speed will not be touched. The automatically adjusted right there, right here. I don't touch that no more, because most of the time you can get the speeds that I'm showing by just adjusting the final gear. If you can't hit that, then yes, adjust your top speed. Make sure your gears are like reset, like your final wise, and then readjust them accordingly. But for the most part, when you buy the fully customizable racing transmission, don't even touch the top speed unless you really want to. It's up to you guys, but I don't touch it no more. But here's the gears. As I said before, 1 through 7 should not have even moved. If they have by chance, and you have your final at 2.758, the way I have it here, just at least try to match the speed numbers I have on the gears. That'll give you the top speed. I mean, granted, it'll have slightly different numbers probably, but that should give you the same top speed, because I have done this before on sport, and I'm highly doubt they changed it a whole lot on here, because the transmission on here is kind of the same, except for you can actually touch the top speed and actually readjust the gears. Hopefully I give you guys enough time to write it down. If not, as with the suspension, just, I'll give you enough time to pause the video and write it all down. Or even take a picture, really. After this, we'll go out to the track. Now, oh wow, the wind's very with me. Ooh. Now when I did test this, I'm not sure the speed of the wind is that big of a factor. As I said before, I can't remember what video it was. I think it was in my info video. Now it was definitely my Nismo speed tune. But the wind direction is the main factor you're going to be looking for towards the how the car goes. But the speed, I'm not sure. If it is that big of a factor, we will see it, because the wind before this when I was testing it was 18.3 feet per second. I'm not going to even have to try to readjust that for miles per hour, because most of this on here, other than my speedometer, is in kilometers. For some reason, I'm not sure. So yeah, but yeah, as I said, with the direction of the wind, it will, as it varies, it will adjust your speed a slight bit. Like with the bottom of the hill there, as you guys saw, I hit 273, but when I tested it, the wind was not in direct with the was not directly coming at me right now. It was actually almost, I guess you'd say, due west. So I guess right now it's almost due north. But with that, I hit 274 at the bottom of the hill, and it actually hit 274 on the backstretch. I'm not sure what this is gonna do. I really don't know, but I do know this can hit 274 with a specific direction of the wind. We'll find out here, honestly. But as I said before, the wind is the direction of the wind. In my mind, is the biggest factor. I know in the later video that I posted for GT7, I did say that it was not a huge factor, but a big factor. Looking at this now, I would say that the direction of the wind is the big factor, not the speed. If it was the speed of the wind, I'm pretty confident that at high winds, and I have seen photos of 25 that we would be able to hit 2 feet. But as you can see right now, I'm at 274 with relative ease. That just shows the power of the wind. Yeah, it's just ridiculous on how the wind is. You shouldn't lose a whole lot in the tunnel on this one. I do know that most cars will hit. Okay, yeah, you just get below 2 mile per hour in the wind, but then in the tunnel. But ain't that big a deal. But yeah, this is the top speed right now, excluding Bugatti, because I will count it, but I'm not gonna count it right now. I'll count it eventually. But right now, the C7 Corvette is the fastest road car in the game. Minus the Veyron, of course, and I never count the Complex. But yeah, one thing before I close off the video, I will let you guys know this, that I wouldn't say cosmetic, but anything that you buy for your car, like a spoiler, or once again, I'll show you because I don't see that well. bumper, you know, the front adjustments you can have. For as far as I know, they don't really do a whole lot as long as you take their take the air downforce all the way down. That's in my opinion. That'll be it for the video. If you guys like the video, like fun. Also subscribe for more videos. And I will probably be saying this for now until I can actually start doing it more often. Also share. It would be great if you guys can share it. I know I should be really wanting to share it, but right now I'm tight on time. I don't have a whole lot of time to post these videos a whole lot, so I post them when I can, and that way you guys can have them. But yeah, share the video if you guys can. If not, it's completely fine. I'll be able to share them eventually. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.